Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you today about motivation and success and how those two things are linked and how you are going to succeed in getting your license. Not just in getting your license, but in all enterprises and projects that you take on in your life, and you want to improve your life and you want to move forward. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to help you with that. So stick around. We'll be right back with those stories. Hi there, Smart Drivers. Welcome back. Lots of people on the feed here. We had a whole discussion before I came on live. And just bear with me one sec. I'm just going to turn down the brightness here a little bit on the feed. It looks a little washed out here. So there we go. Save. All right. Excellent. Excellent. So yes, we can definitely help you get your license here. Joseph is here. Joseph has asked me a few questions. Joseph, what I might suggest to you do, the best thing for you to do is, if you got to run off to class and whatnot, is to send me an email, rick@smartdrivetest.com. As well, go over to the Facebook page. I'll put the link. Actually, I think the link is down in the description there. For the Facebook group, I am going to start doing once a week live classroom sessions, tutorials in the Facebook mastermind group to help people out who are taking courses and subscribing to my website and helping you out. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I got started a little late today. Unfortunately, I have a wireless mouse on my computer and it died, and I'm using my old mouse, which I had to run around and do that. So Joseph is here. Damon is here. How are you, Damon? Wheelman is here from, where's Wheelman today? Good afternoon from Portugal, loading steel, bound for Spain. Santiago, how is everyone? We are awesome, Wheelman. And yourself? Brilliant. Okay, Damon, yes, being at the wheel of a car is really awesome. And a lot of people here are working towards getting their license, working towards being a safer driver. And you can definitely, all of this is being a little bit stalled by, this COVID crisis that we're currently in and the economy being shut down and whatnot. There is some hope. Ryan from Saskatchewan sent me an email on Facebook there this morning saying that the test centers in Saskatchewan are beginning to open up, and they're making moves in the province of Saskatchewan to reopen the economy in May. And I think there's a lot of U.S. states as well that are moving to reopening the economy in May. So let's just cross our fingers that all of this is going to get going again in May. Frederick is here from Denmark. Ori is here from Manitoba, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Janet's here from Ontario, and Farron is here from South Africa. And Farron, I was neglectful. What happened last night? I didn't actually go over with the kids where South Africa was on the map, but we did learn a couple other things. I forgot to get my book, so I might have to leave here for just a second to grab my books. But so let's talk about motivation. Let's talk about succeeding in your goals, succeeding in getting your license, succeeding in becoming a safer, smarter driver. And now the video to me looks too washed, too dark. So just turn up the brightness here, just a smidge. There we go. Okay, so one of the ways that we learn in life, one of the ways that we figure out what we want to do, and the thing is that we don't really figure out what we want to do. We go through life through trial and error. We try stuff, we don't like that. We try something else, we don't like that, and that's the way that life works. Unfortunately, there isn't a magic golden road that you're going to follow that's going to take you from point A to point B, and you're going to have all of the satisfaction in your life. For some people, yes. I have met people who are very young, and from a very young age, they know exactly what they want to do with their life. They know exactly where they want to go with their life. But I believe, personally myself, I believe that those people are rare. And I have heard TED Talks, I've heard other people say to themselves that, they've moved from one place to another, their whole life. And I was the same. I have never been at a job for longer than 3 years in my life. simply because I'm always looking for something else. I'm always searching for something else. And I didn't have mentors when I was a kid that said to me, oh, try this or try that, or, gave me guidance and whatnot. And, maybe it was just where I came from. Maybe it was just who I am. Maybe I'm an introvert. I don't know. Perhaps I am. But I know that, I'm incredibly smart and I'm resourceful and I can figure things out and life moves forward. This YouTube thing, this is probably the longest I've done something. So for many of you, just put a yes in the comments there if you were one of those people who from a young age knew what you wanted to do with the rest of your life, or you're still searching for what you want to do through that trial and error process. So one of the things years ago when I took a course, as I said to you, just bear with me, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I wanted to run over and grab my books because I wanted to show you this. I told you I took a 6-week course in 1998 to learn how to find a job. And it was one of the most valuable courses that I took ever in my life. I had three courses that I took in my life. One was that, how to find a job, and the skill set that I needed to be able to find a job. The other course that I took was keyboarding. For whatever reason, I took keyboarding when I was in high school, and I took it for 3 years. Little did I know that when I got older, that I would be sitting in a keyboard, in front of a keyboard for the most of my life, because we do have voice to text recognition, but it's still poor, right? And I probably type 80 words a minute now, on a straight run. And then the other course that I took in my life, and I've talked about this previously, was managing anger in the family. And I after my divorce, and I talk about this in the founding story of Smart Drive Test. The kids' mothers left. She took the kids with her, and I had a lot of anger. And so managing anger in the family was one of the third course I took in my life that really resonated with me. So years ago, when I took this course on how to find a job and the skill sets required to find a job, writing a resume, writing a cover letter, more importantly, was we did an exercise of what do you want to do, right? And the book that we had was What Color is Your Parachute? We did the exercises in that book of what color is your parachute. So have a look at that. It's on Amazon, and I'll find the link for you and I'll put it down in the description. And for me, this was a completely foreign exercise. What color is my parachute? What do I want to do with my life? Because I'd never really sat down and done that before. What had happened is I was a rudderless ship. I was a ship on an ocean without a rudder. I was just doing whatever came along. That's why I ended up in truck driving, because that's what my dad talked about. He romanticized it. I grew up watching Smokey and the Bandit, Gumball Rally, all the other things, and that's kind of how I ended up in it. That's why I ended up dropping out of university, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did not know what my passion was. And one of the people that I ended up coming into contact with when I was doing the course was the motivational speaker Jack Canfield. And you may know Jack Canfield. This is one of his books, The Success Principle. You can see that right there. I picked this up at the used bookstore downtown for about $8 or $9. New York Times bestseller. You may know Jack Canfield. He wrote the series Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I would strongly suggest that if you're working towards something, you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, how to move forward and those types of things, look up Jack Canfield's material. He has plenty of stuff, and this is one of the books that I'm currently reading. And there's a story in here, and I'll read the story at the end to you. So I came into contact with Jack Canfield, and this is one of the first times that I started looking for motivational speakers. And there are some phenomenal motivational speakers in the world. Jack Canfield is probably one of the top motivational speakers in the world, and gives you a path to work through in order to meet your goals and your dreams in your life. And, then when I sat down and I started doing the exercises and started figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to do for a job, then I started moving forward. Then I started to get some grasp of how to move forward and be more productive and be more fulfilled in my own life. Because driving truck, I was certainly not fulfilled, in my ability to do more in life and to help other people. And that's really the purpose of the YouTube channel, is to help people get their license, gain their freedom, have empowerment, and be fulfilled, be empowered. That is very much the underlying, this is what Smart Drive Test is about. It's about empowering drivers to be safer drivers. It's about empowering you to get your license, to have freedom, or to start a career as a truck or bus driver. That's what we want to do here. So I want to talk a little bit about that process and how you do that. Motors is here. Grateful for motives and teaching. You're most welcome. Wilman says he's loading for Pinta Steelworks, Val de Cambra. Excellent. Katie says she's still searching for what I want to do with my life. And Katie, I've been reevaluating the YouTube channel for the last year or so. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do here. Damon, trial and error. I completely hear that. I tried being an uncle to my brother's daughter. Unfortunately, because of my brother's, I can no longer do that. Damon, I want to lead a nuclear family of my own because I am integral in that setting. You can do all of those things. You just need to figure out how to do it and how to move forward. Jaden, I just want to let you know I'm watching my childhood YouTubers get to videos. It's not going to make me emotional or cry anything, but just making me happy, not him passing away. Excellent. Well, take some time. Definitely got to take some time for those emotions and those types of things. The phone sounds. Mom is texting the kids in the other room there, and it comes through on my computer. I need to figure out in future how to turn that off on my computer so people aren't texting me while that's happening. So one of the things, and let's talk about this in terms of getting your license. And I did a video on this about the number one reason that people fail a road test. The number one reason that people fail a road test is because they do not know what is expected of them on the test. So for example, they don't go and hire a local driving instructor. They just watch videos on YouTube and they go out and they practice and they do what they think they need to do. They have misinformation. Some people think and believe that their state or their province doesn't do parallel parking, for example. So they don't do any parallel parking, which is not true. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, what state you're in, what province you're in, you are going to do parallel parking. It is the foundation of any road test, and they have not abolished it anywhere in the world. So you have to know that. You also need to go to the test center and figure out where the parking is. Figure out, okay, they're going to do parallel parking. Do they do parallel parking on street, or do they do parallel parking in a closed circuit area? For example, when I was in Ottawa and I did my instructor's license and I had to go back to the MTO to do the test again, as part of my driving instructor's license in Ontario, the parallel parking was in the parking lot at the test center, and it was a concrete piece, those concrete abutments. And you basically pulled up beside it and you parallel parked in behind it. So do you know that is what's going to be expected of you when you're doing your test? And when I did it, the driving instructors at the school forgot to tell me that that's what it was. And, so I didn't do as well as I could have. So you need to know exactly what is expected of you and then prepare for the test in the end. It's the same as any project in the world. Figure out what's expected of you on the test. Figure out who you need to consult to get information. Where do you get that information? Who are the professionals that you need to do? Say, for example, that you're a homeowner. You have a house and you want to renovate that house. Who are you going to consult? Well, you're going to talk to subcontractors and you're going to talk to general contractors. General contractors are probably your best professionals in terms of how to go about renovating your house and what the process is. They're going to talk to you about permits. They're going to talk to you about, demolition, what demolition needs to be done. How is this going to affect your living arrangements and those types of things. You're going to talk to city officials because you have officials in the city and part of your community who are responsible for the building code. There is a building code. The government has a role in building, in your community. So you're going to be part of those. So any project that you take on in your life, you're going to need to consult certain professionals in your life. You're going to need to consult other people. And, we now live in a world where we have Google reviews. We have all of the reviews on Amazon. So you can talk to other people who've already gone through that experience. You can get information from other people, which is invaluable. Talking to other people, listening to other people's stories, and then, I don't know how you look at reviews on Amazon, but when I look at reviews on Amazon, I don't read the good reviews. I don't read the 4-star reviews. I don't read the 5-star reviews. When I look at a review on Amazon of products that I'm going to buy, I look at the bad reviews. And I read 10 or 15 of them, and I figure out what the common problem is with that product. And then I think to myself, and I make a decision in the end. It's like, can I live with that problem if that problem happens? And most of the time, yeah, I can live with that problem. And the other thing that you want to do when you're looking at reviews for products on Amazon, or you're looking for reviews of people and businesses, because, we have Google reviews, and you can go on and look at people's comments of their interactions with businesses. What things did they find wrong? Was it a one-off thing? For example, you go on and look at a review of a product on Amazon. It's got 500 reviews. It's got a 4.5-star rating. So you're looking at very few people who were unhappy with the product or the service that they received. So it's unlikely that you're going to get something. Whereas if you get 5 reviews and 3 of the 5 are bad, it's probably something that you want to get away from. All right. So Corey's put up the other videos. Thanks for that, Corey. Damon, yeah, I was made to conduct parallel parking. Yes, so you can be almost guaranteed that you're going to do parallel parking on a road test. And for anybody who's preparing for a road test, looking to move towards doing the road test, know that the 3 almost guaranteed maneuvers that you're going to be required to do and you need to practice: parallel parking, 3-point reverse, 3-point turn. Try and say that right, and then reverse stall parking. Those are the 3 that you absolutely have to do and be prepared for at minimum on a test. And these maneuvers, these slow speed maneuvers that you're going to be required to do on a road test, are up to the discretion of the examiner. So if the examiner's having a day and he or she decides that they don't want to do parallel parking, then you don't have to do parallel parking, but they might get you to do 2-point reverse turn. Okay, so it's up to the discretion of the examiner. It's the same thing if you go to university or you go to high school and you study geography. What is on the test at the end? There's certain things that teachers have to cover according to a curriculum, but what's on the test at the end is more or less up to the discretion of the teacher. So you need to go to class, because at the end of the year, when you're preparing to do your final exam, the teacher will tell you exactly what's on the test. When I taught history at the university, I would tell students exactly what was on the test. All right, Damon, where do I get the data to find a woman with which I can begin a nuclear family? Probably what you need to do, Damon, is find somebody who's going to fall in love with you first. And I would suggest some of the dating sites. That's a conversation you need to have in terms of having a relationship with somebody. All right, so one of the other things that you want to do in terms of larger projects that are going to take a lot of time, license tests for most people have become mired in bureaucracy because of the GDL and the GLP program. But if you want to take a longer project, so say for example that you're in the middle of your life, as Katie said, still searching for what she wants to do, and you decide you want to make a change. And there was a great story yesterday. My kids, we're in jiu-jitsu, as you know, and my coach was doing a live stream and was talking to the 2 kids and told this great story of him and his wife. He met his wife at church, and they were both working as special needs educators in the public education system. Well, changes happened in the early 1990s. They lost their jobs, and they had to reassess their life to figure out what they were going to do for the rest of their life. And so they finally decided that she was going to go back to university, which was a 5-year commitment, that she was going to go back to an undergraduate degree. finish the undergraduate degree, and then go on to teacher's college and get her teaching degree. And he, at the time, coach was playing hockey, a lot of hockey. Hockey was expensive. They had both lost their jobs. Their jobs had been reduced to part-time. They both lost their jobs. And he couldn't do hockey anymore because hockey was expensive. And so he got involved in martial arts and started to explore martial arts and whatnot. And then, he was at a club that did mixed martial arts, and they were doing some jiu-jitsu and whatnot, and then went into jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu was less expensive than doing hockey, as many of you know if you've ever played hockey. And the other thing he said about jiu-jitsu was that it was not only was it less expensive, but it was something that he could train at 7 days a week. And he decided very early on that when he started down this path of doing martial arts and doing jiu-jitsu, that this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to get his black belt in jiu-jitsu, and then he wanted to become an instructor, and he wanted to open his own club and run his own business as a jiu-jitsu instructor. And there's always some trepidation. There's always some, well, what if this doesn't work out? There's always like, oh my God, that's from here to there is such a long time. But know this, that we as human beings, we always underestimate, we always overestimate what we can do in a year. We can't possibly do what we think we can in a year, but we completely underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Next year I'm coming up on 5 years on the YouTube channel, so you need to have a plan in place. You need to work that plan. You need to keep yourself healthy during that period of time, because 5 years is a long time. The other thing that you need to keep in mind while you're working that long plan is you have to budget in time for getting sick, because you're going to get sick. There's going to be times that you're not going to be well. You're not going to be healthy, right? Like, for example, like right now, for the last 5 months, I've been dealing with a problem with my back. I have what's called a herniated disc, and it's plaguing me because this is the first time in my life that health-wise I've been slowed down. And I'm gonna beat this thing. I am going to beat this thing. So you need to do that. And the other thing is that in the period of time that you're working from A to where you want to go in terms of B and your destination, you need to write down what you're going to do. You need to write down the path. And they've done all kinds of studies about Stanford University students who have written down their goals and what they want to do in life and what they want to achieve. And then they come back and they revisit these people 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 years later, and they find that these people who actually write down their goals are incredibly more successful in life than people who don't write their goals down. And, it's a similar thing with myself. Once I started writing my goals down and I realized in 1998 that I wanted to be a driving instructor, that I wanted to be a safety officer, or whatever work that I could do as a driving instructor, then my life started to move forward. And then I really got focused, and I wanted to go to university, and I wanted to go on and do graduate work. And so you need to write down your goals, and you need to revisit them on a daily basis. You need to repeat those to you. So put them on the fridge, put them in prominent places, put them on the bathroom door. This is what I want to do. This is how I can do it, right? And so write your goals down, put them in places, because there's going to be problems. There's going to be challenges, right? It's not going to be a straightforward path of getting from, for example, Coach's wife, Margot. There wasn't a straightforward path for her of going to university, getting an undergraduate degree, and then going to teacher's college, right? It's not a straight path, because there's challenges, there's problems. But once you figure out where you want to go, then your brain will start working on the problem, and it will figure out the how. So don't worry about the how. And it's the same thing when I left Canada in 2002 and I went to Australia, and I was faced with, oh my God, how am I going to pay for international fees when I'm in Australia? I didn't really worry about the how. The how worked itself out. The Australian government, I got my permanent residency. The Australian government paid for me to go to university. So the universe and the brain, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, whatever your faith is, it will work out the how. You just have to figure out what. Okay, so I'll answer a few comments here. Damon, reverse parking when I was at the helm of Kia. I misread the visual data from the backup camera and did not understand what correction I needed to make. Yeah, and Damon, what I would suggest that you work in the parking lot with some pylons to figure out where your vehicle is in space and place. And there's some videos here as well on how to learn how to drive. Epic, watching from Easton, Pennsylvania area, and for motivation, some of this might be trial and error or memorization of topics required for a road test, such as stopping positions, which you do frequently. Yes. And that's an important point of what Epic was saying, that if you have a lot of stop signs on the route of your test where you're going to be taking your test, you need to know at which stopping position you need to stop the vehicle. The stop sign has nothing to do with it. Where the stop sign is located is not where you need to stop your vehicle. Okay, 3 stopping positions at a stop sign intersection: before the crosswalk line, before the stop sign or crosswalk line, or at the edge where the 2 roads meet. That's where you need to stop your vehicle. The position of the stop sign has nothing to do with it. Okay. Joseph, I did answer your question, and as I said, best to email me, and then I can help you one-on-one. And as well, as I said, again, I'll reiterate, I'm going to start doing live feeds into the mastermind group on on Facebook over there. So head over there and join up for that as well. And I believe the link's in the description. If not, I will definitely put that in at the end here. All right, Damon, fortunately I've been rehearsing my reverse parking constantly and learned how to set up for the maneuver, how to adjust on the fly, and realize when aborting is of wisdom. And yes, sometimes it's better just as when you're doing a maneuver, Wheelman will tell you this as well, driving a car or a truck, that, you know, sometimes in the middle of a maneuver, you're going to figure out that it's just not going to work for you. You need to abort the maneuver and you need to start over again. Robert says, do not use backup cameras in a car. And I would add to that, Robert, that don't use a backup camera as your primary source of backing up. Even if you have a backup camera in the car, turn around and look out the back window. And if you were taking a road test, the only state that I am aware of that allows you to use backup cameras when you back up is the backup camera. Is New Jersey. All right? Do not use that backup camera as your primary source. You need to be looking out the back window. You need to be checking the mirrors. You need to be doing a 360-degree scan. And the backup camera is just another aid to help you back up safely. Do not rely on it to back up. Anna, any advice about driving in North Carolina? Yes, all of the information here, Anna, will help you to drive safely in North Carolina. And if you have any specific questions about learning how to drive in North Carolina, drop me an email, rick@smartdrivetest.com. I will be more than happy to help you out. Wheelman, YouTube is excellent for tutorials, knowledge, picked up a wealth of valuable trucking know-how. And Wheelman, you're absolutely right. Yesterday I was looking, some of the people that I have consulted in terms of working on getting my back fixed. I have been to 3 physiotherapists. I've been to an orthopedic surgeon. I have been to, and now I've been working with a massage therapist, which has been really great. And yesterday I was looking at inversion boots, how to hang upside down to stretch my spine out. In the recommendations of YouTube, they recommended this video on how to fix your back, right, with a bulging disc, because that's essentially what I've got. I've got a bulging disc where the squishy bit between the vertebrae is jutting out, and it's pinching the nerve, and it's causing pain down through my gluteus maximum, your butt, down the front of my leg and into my knee. And at night it's excruciating. And so I clicked on this one video. It said how to fix your back, and they were talking about this guy that was 22 years old. He had a herniated disc, which is what it's called when the tissue bulges out and pinches the nerve. And he was 22 years old, and they said that he had to have surgery. Same thing as what my doctor said to me. My medical doctor said to me. My medical doctor has simply prescribed medications to me. And let me tell you, the other day I was in excruciating pain. I was talking to my massage therapist, and my massage therapist said to me, he said, you have 2 choices. he said, you can either keep going on this and get this fixed. And he said, I truly believe that we can fix this. Or you can sit at home and watch television and become dependent on drugs. And, you know, that second alternative is not an alternative that I want. I have tried to take some of these medications, these pain medications that they have given me, and, you know, it just, I am in tune with my body. I've been doing martial arts for a very, very long time. And I am in tune with my body. I know what's going on. And I know that these medications are not good for me. I know they're not good for anybody. I realize that there are people in the world who need to have these medications, you know, whether you suffer from chronic depression or have chronic pain or those types of things. But we you know, in the medical profession needs to answer a little bit to some of this, in the fact that the medical profession in my opinion, fails to take a holistic approach to health. And one of the, you know, and it'd be interesting to have people kind of weigh in on this as well. You know, here's one of the things that I struggle with in terms of, you know, I know that it's, you know, all the scientific data says that we need to drink 8 cups of water a day. And I have struggled with this a lot. And, you know, my buddy Jack Canfield yesterday talked about the very same thing. He said, we're 30% smarter if we drink 8 cups of water a day. 30% smarter because we're not dehydrated. And, you know, just like, okay, so now I'm trying very hard to drink water and those types of things to be smarter and achieve my goals and those types of things, okay? So, Anna, thank you. You're most welcome. Jaden, hey, Rick, what you said about the herniated disc, this reminds me of my dash and how the exact problem, and now to come to think of it, I miss my dog already. Yeah, it's tough when we lose, Jaden. It's very tough, that grieving process. It takes a while to get through. Janet, I have a brand new pickup and I rarely use my backup camera. I've always been a mirror person, so much better for me. Yes, Janet, I agree with you, and make sure you're doing those 360 degree scans as well when you're backing up. I had a Scantia. It was the worst. Yeah, it's been challenging. Sad. I found a massage and keeping up with it monthly helps a lot with my back. Yes. CA doctors are, you know, difficult, you know, unable to measure pain. They absolutely are unable to measure pain. And so going back to what Wheelman was saying, I kind of got off track about, you know, the things you can learn on Facebook was, you know, this instructor, he was a physical therapist. He showed 3 exercises to do to fix your herniated disc. And this young kid was 22 years old who had the herniated disc, was, you know, lifting weights and deadlifting and those types of things, and had completely repaired it. And, you know, the other thing that I did, I set up my sawhorse in the garage, and I go in and I hang off my sawhorse to stretch my spine out, and that's basically what I need to do. And I've done these other exercises. It's beginning to feel better. I can feel that it's healing. And, you know, it's, you know, not just with pain that you have in your body, but it's directly related to goals and things that you want to achieve in your life. You have to put these things around to remind you and to reprogram your brain that we are going to fix this. We are going to achieve this, right? I cannot, you know, when the massage therapist said to me the other day, he says, you have 2 choices. And we always have choice in life, right? We can either go down path A or we can go down path B. And sometimes if you don't make a commitment, you have to make a commitment, 100% commitment, that I'm going to go down path A. This is what I want to do. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be hard. I know there's going to be challenges. There's going to be bumps in the road. It's not going to always go as planned. But this is what I want to do, because the things that we work the hardest for in our life are the things that we cherish the most. Absolutely the things that we cherish the most. My doctorate degree, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, because there was so much change that I went through in my life. And it's going to be the same for you, regardless of what you choose to do in your life. You can do it, but you need to make a commitment. You need to decide that this is what I'm going to do, right? And there's so many distractions in our life. I mean, look at Facebook, look at YouTube, look at all the stuff that's Netflix and all of that stuff right now that is out there. And, you know, Somebody was saying, Brendan Burchard, another motivational speaker, another person that I would suggest you check out, was saying the other day that most of us, when we scroll through our Facebook feed, we scroll through any of our feeds on our social media, we feel worse after we do it because we get a quick hit of dopamine. They've actually done scientific studies on this. We get a quick hit of the chemical in our brain, quick satisfaction, and then it's gone, it's over, and we feel low, right? It's kind of like, you have a night out and you drink a lot of beer, you're feeling really great, and the next morning you wake up and oh my God. But your social media feed is a compressed version of that. So instead of it happening over a day, it happens over a few minutes, right? So you need to block out a period of time every day for a certain amount of time. I'm not going to look at my email. I'm not going to look at Facebook. I'm not going to look at Instagram. I'm not going to watch Netflix. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And it's the same thing because, it's distracting. And not only that, we need a period of time to focus in on what we're going to work on. You need to focus in for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. You need to set a timer that you're not looking at anything else. Shut off all of your notifications. That goofy, Jaden said to me that my phone is dinging. The kids are texting their mom. The phone is dinging. It's distracting. And it takes you away from the deep focus that you need to focus in on something. Especially, if you want to write something, you want to put out some social media posts and those types of things. Know that you need to block out some times and you need to be committed. I'll just leave you with the last thing is that no matter what task that we decide to do in our life, that the amount of time that we have to do that task will fill up to do that task. So say, for example, you have an hour to do something and you think, oh, this is going to take me forever. For example, I had a set of steps out the back here that I had to fix that had come loose and whatnot. And I thought to myself, well, that's going to take me 3 or 4 hours to do that. But one day I went out and it only took me an hour to do it. So a lot of times we kind of work ourselves up and we think it's going to take us a lot longer to do something. The job will always balloon out to fill up the space we have available. So try not to convince yourself that something is going to take way longer than you think it is. Just go and do it. Okay? Damon, medical care is viewed as a commodity here in the United States, just like our civil rights and human rights. Good health is priced out of reach if you are poor. Yeah, Damon, we could have, a whole day discussion about how healthcare is, definitely a commodity in the States. It's tough. It's definitely tough in the United States for sure. Corey, I could be wrong, but isn't that stat somewhat misleading as we can get that liquid through other drinks and foods that we normally consume? Corey, I tend to agree with you a little bit about how much water we should drink in the daytime. I'm still reluctant. I'm still reluctant to drink that much water in a day because for me, I have a bladder the size of a walnut. And, for me, if I drink that much water, I'm just going to the toilet all the time. Maybe not. I'm still not totally convinced on the drinking the 10 cups of water a day or the 8 cups of water a day. Jonathan, my mother is a transit bus driver. She has a pinched nerve in her shoulder from a crash on her job. She still works at maintaining, going through physical therapy. She still drives. And yeah, Jonathan, I'm sure she has days that she's in a lot of pain. And Jonathan, just on that note, they gave me these drugs, gabapentin, I think it's called, and it's supposed to kill the nerve pain. The problem with it is that what's happening is the pinched nerve in my back is causing the muscle in the front of my leg to contract all the time. It's always like a harp string. This gabapentin, this nerve killing thing, it deadens the nerve. I don't feel it, but it's still contracting the muscle. So when I don't take it, I get up every couple of hours during the night and I walk around and I loosen the muscle up. This will let me sleep for 4 hours, and when I wake up for 4 hours, I am in excruciating pain because it is like a piano string just pulled to the breaking point, and I can barely unfold myself out of the chair. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, gabapentin, that's what it is. CA. Thank you. So Epic, Jonathan, Janet, yes, great advice. And I find social media has so much negative lately. I plan on using it less and less and just get out doing more things. Yeah, I totally hear you, Janet. And, this whole COVID thing, this crisis and whatnot, it was pretty funny at the beginning, and Facebook was hilariously funny with the whole toilet paper thing. But now it's not funny anymore. It's just, a lot of people trying, and the other thing that's happened with Facebook and other social medias is that all of these online companies have gone to hard selling. Brendan Burchard, for example, I love Brendan Burchard. I have one of his books here, and his advice is spot on. It's incredible. It has resonated with me so much. But I listened to one of his podcasts the other day while I was out walking, and he was hard selling his stuff. And I was like, Brendan, what are you doing? I was just, I turned off the podcast because he was hard selling me. And I don't want to be hard sold. If I want to buy your products, then I'll look at it and I'll buy it. But don't hard sell me, right? I truly believe that if you're doing a business online, it's like, here it is. If you want it, then go and have a look at it. You could get more information on my website, but I'm not going to hard sell you. I'm going to tell all of you that I have courses over at my website. Yes, I do, and I can help you out, but I'm not going to hard sell you. That's not what this is about. This is about being of service, and whatever you choose to do in your life, know that if you want to find your passion, you want to build a community, and you have to be of service to other people. How are you helping other people? And you need to know that you need to be the best that you can be every day, right? You're not always going to be on. You're not always going to be 100%. But if that happens, take time out, not time off. Don't give up. Just take a day and go, okay, today I'm not going to do anything. And we all need that. We need a day, every few weeks where we just sit on the couch, we watch Netflix, we binge watch, Breaking Bad, and we eat Doritos. That's fine. But don't do it for more than a day. Get up off the couch and get going again, right? Do something every day. That's what you need to do. You can't just stay down. You got to get back up, right? It's like Les Brown, another motivational speaker who I listen to a lot. It's like he says, if you fall down, make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that's, because life is going to knock you down. I will guarantee you. I'm in my 50s. I've done a lot of things, and I've been doing these live streams now for almost 3 weeks every day. You've heard most of my story. I have been knocked down in my life a lot. But I keep getting up, and that's what you got to do. And, Jack Canfield, I never knew some of the stuff. He was kidnapped. Bloody heck. Kidnapped. Not only do you got to get back up, but you have to forgive. You cannot hang on to anger and negativity. If you hang on to anger and negativity in your life, that's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's not going to happen. So forgive. Learn how to forgive. Know that it's going to get better. This crisis thing is going to get better. We're all going to be better. And not only that, when this crisis thing is over and they open the test centers again, we are all going to be crazy, stupid, busy. We are going to be off the chart busy. So get ready for it, because it's coming. Okay? Jonathan, oh yeah, Rick, I forgot to tell you, I finished my drug screening yesterday. Once I'm in the clear, I'll soon start work as an ambulance driver. That is absolutely great, Jonathan. We're really awesome. Farron says she goes online for memes. Some of them are pretty good, I got to admit. Mason, I am extremely licensed in sense that this COVID-19 pandemic is being availed as an excuse for inclivity that normally would not be tolerated. Yeah, and, Damon, I read a statistic from a professor out of the University of Toronto the other day that you are more likely to die from cardiovascular disease, heart disease, cancer, traffic crashes, the common flu, or suicide. These are the top 5 reasons that people die in our society, and you're much more likely to die from those than you are from the COVID virus right now. But one at the same time, people are afraid, and for many people, there is a reason for them to be afraid. Frederick, I am practicing a hard jazz tune arrangement of my acoustic guitar. While watching and listening to this, somehow it improves my focus, or it stresses my choice as a music teacher and musician. That's awesome, Frederick. Absolutely awesome. Damon, the argument is why I rented a Hyundai to conduct this experiment. I do not want to be trapped in my apartment like a prisoner. Yes, man, definitely get out. Jonathan says he still chooses to drive behind the wheel even when schools are closed and the school buses are in lockdown. Yes, and keep practicing. That's the thing. Keep practicing for the opportunity. The opportunity is going to come. Bandit, I work as a mechanic shop, and I just waiting for my boss to call. and say, you better get your hands working. Yes, as we all are, Bandit. It's going to happen, and you're going to be very, very busy when that happens. All right, let's see what these guys have to say today.
Mine. Move.
No, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Phone.
Ow!
Turkey.
Oh, I love turkey.
All right, so what did we learn yesterday?
We learned, what was it? I forgot.
We learned about the nose and the boogers.
Disgusting things. Oh, we got the book, right.
I'll go get it.
There you go. Okay, so it'll make more sense. Jaden, when my dad was first playing GTO, getting my my DeLorean could fly. That's funny. Your dad didn't watch Back to the Future. That's funny. Oh, okay, so what's the book called?
Gross and disgusting things about the human body.
Yeah, we've been reading that. I've been grossing the kids out with, bad breath and boogers and whatnot.
What I've been doing lately, mostly we're late because usually we come at 4:30. Me and Vern are playing Monopoly with my LOLs because I got them for my, I think it was my 8th or 9th birthday or 10th. No, it was 8th or 9th birthday. And I also played hide and go seek with them this morning. And it was really fun.
All right.
What'd you do?
So yesterday what did we watch? Which movie did we watch?
We watched
Brave.
Brave.
And I memorized one of the lines. Fate be changed. Look inside.
Mend the bond.
No, I'm doing it.
Item.
No, I'm doing
All right,
it.
all right.
Shush. Fate be changed. Look inside. Mend the bond. Torn by pride.
Oh, I can make a really funny face.
Janet, yeah, it is actually gross and disgusting things about the human body. It actually is an interesting read for sure. Okay, stop being a goof. And yeah, we watched Merida, which is Brave, which is one of my mom's most favorite Disney films.
I like it too.
Strong, independent female characters.
It's also like Mulan. Mulan's also a really good movie, and I'm excited for the real version of Mulan to come out and one of our favorite characters, one of my favorite actors plays in it, Emma Thompson. She plays as the mom. She also plays as Hermione Granger. She also plays as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. Well, she plays as Hermione in Harry Potter. And she also plays as Polly in Dr. Dolittle, the new movie. She's like, "Hello, Polly." I like her.
Yeah,
I like Wheelman 1, 2, 3. I also like playing hide and go seek a lot.
Yeah, we were having that interesting discussion this morning about Star Wars, about Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, about how they, only Harrison Ford went on to have a career as an actor, whereas the other two didn't. And it was the same thing with kind of Harry Potter, that Emma Thompson is the only one that went on to be an international actor in all kinds of other movies and whatnot.
Yeah, she's very amazing. I also like the person who plays in Narnia. I think it might have been Harry. I think the actor who played as Harry might have moved on. I think he might have played in Narnia and Dr. Dolittle too, but I'm not totally sure. I'm not totally sure. I like Hermione Granger really a lot.
Wheelman, is the Flintstones still on? My friend Wheelman sent me a thing on Instagram yesterday asking me about the Beachcombers. The Beachcombers was a...
What's a beachcomber?
The Beachcombers was a show, a Canadian show. When the heck was it on, Wheelman? Was the Beachcombers on in like the late 70s, the early 80s? It was like... it was a long time ago. I almost kind of remember it when I was a kid. And then there was the grumpy guy who was, always liked ketchup. Yeah, Relic. That was his name. His name was Relic. I mean, how...
Relic is a little like Bern. Bern's got an addiction with peanut butter.
Feminine Mason. He's kind of a good dad. Sometimes a good dad. Sometimes a yelling dad.
There's also another book that I was reading. It was called Whatever After. I've only got up to the 5th book, which is called Beauty Queen, and it's like fairy tales where these two kids go into the book, into the story, and then they make the story go differently. Like for Cinderella, her sister, because she didn't want to actually be mean to her, gets married to the prince, and she starts making brownies because they didn't know about brownies. And the Little Mermaid, she goes on to be an author. And Snow White,
Janet.
Snow White doesn't get married to the. Well, I don't remember that one really. I started to read it again, and then the freezing one with the Ice Queen. The Ice Queen becomes good, and she's got like lots of friends now with a rubber girl, and it's different, and it's a really nice story. And the brother, because it's a brother and a sister and a dog, because they're the only ones because they got the dog out of a story, and then when they got them, I forgot there was a Tangle story, and she became a rock star with her mom and dad, and the prince. They became rock stars, and I don't remember where they got the dog, but they got the dog, and then they named him Prince because they just had to. And the boy, I forget what his name was, which is Abby's brother, which she's the main character, like in the book. And he like addicted to ketchup. He'll eat ketchup on anything. French toast, cake. He'll eat it by himself. In every kingdom that he goes to, he's like, do you have ketchup? And in The Little Mermaid, their kingdom is called the Mustard Kingdom. And he's like, no ketchup? Seriously?
Scout,
he's upset about it.
So I have a question. Will you read Lightning Ferrara's book when you're older?
We can do that. We can definitely do that.
She made a book?
Yep.
Cool.
And the other thing that's great about this is Wheelman saying that the Beachcombers ran from 1973 to 1992. I would have never imagined that. I thought it was like a few years.
Daddy,
and Janet says that she's dating herself.
Daddy, read Picky.
No, we're not going to read the book, honey.
Fine, I'm going to read one page.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Fine, tomorrow I will.
Okay, tomorrow you will. Okay, so you have that to look forward to tomorrow. Byrne is going to read from gross and disgusting things about the human body.
I will throw up. Seriously, I'm going to throw up.
Okay, so you can find a page. All right, so we're going to leave it there for today.
And wait,
yep.
It's Emma Watson? Who's Emma Watson?
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
Where is South Africa? Yeah, we need to figure that out. Wheelman, Bugs Bunny, what's up, Doc? Roadrunner, beep beep. Yeah, they won't know who Roadrunner is. Kepa just got here, gonna have to rewatch the vid. Perfect.
I know who Bugs Bunny is. I don't like him, really.
I don't like Bugs Bunny.
He's really, like, stupid or something.
Okay, all right.
We watch those episodes after we come back from a really long field trip. I don't like them.
And I'm gonna read you Picky.
But a lot of people love it.
All right, all done.
This is Picky.
Go!
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. All the best. And remember, pick the best answer. Guys, come on. And remember, pick the best answer. Not necessarily the right answer. Cheers. Bye.
Dad.